After I see ball flight and I feel like I need to correct the ball flight, I'll change you to correct that. But until I see errors in your ball flight, I'm gonna leave you alone. So that was a kind of new feeling? Okay, good. Okay. I like the contact. That feel good?
Yeah.
Is that a new shot?
Yeah.
A little more.
Because I'm hammering it.
You're compressing it. And not a lot of effort. It's just kind of natural. We're all going to the same place. Little baby draw.
Yeah.
Those are nice shots, Daryl.
Yeah, it feels better. Because this is my swing before I was coming like this, like that.
You didn't have any release.
Yeah, I think it was just like one motion.
Yeah, exactly. Right down the middle.
Do you recommend on the range taking practice swing every time?
No. One of the reasons I like that one is it came after we stopped for a moment and talked a little bit, and then you went right back and had the same thing. That's a good sign. You don't need to have a lot of swing thoughts. It would be a mistake on my part to give you 3 other things today to think about. I need you to own this right here. This looks really good. See, there's a lot of funky swings on tour. You see a lot of weird swings, but they're on tour. You know, they're still some of the best in the world. And so, to me, it's not about. I don't try to make you look like somebody. I'm trying to make the ball look like something, not you. If you had the worst swing in the world, but the ball always did what you wanted, you have no problems. Now, if the ball has a problem, then I've got to change that ball by changing you. I've got to find out what you're doing to cause that. But right now, I like it. I like what I see a lot. Hit one more, they're going to hit the 3-iron. Oh, that's one of your better ones. Now, you say you tee off a lot with this. If you want to tee one up, you can.
Okay.
Let's hit a few off the tee. Now, is that a sound and feel that you have occasionally with this club?
Yeah, I feel like at the top of it there.
What? Well, believe it or not, you hit the hosel.
Oh, okay.
That's opposed to what we call a shank. But have that snap at the bottom. Don't be afraid to feel that same thing as you did with the 8-iron. You'll randomly hit good ones and bad ones, but try to have that same wrist feeling. Good. May not have to change it too much. Feel a little bit. That'll go about the same distance as your 3-iron.
Yeah.
That was good. That was well hit. These are more forgiving, have a bigger sweet spot. You don't have to have a deep divot to hit it solid. All kinds of good stuff with this club. What I want you to do is just do a tap drill. You're just going to kind of tap it right down the middle. Bump it. You're just going to bump it. You're going to teach your hands where the face of the club is with small little straight swing. You're just trying to bump it like that. That's it. Just keep doing that right there. Excellent. Teaching your hands. We're teaching your hands first, man.
It's been a while since we did that, probably high school.
Your ability to square that club face up right here. Good, very consistent. Now, I don't know what this will create when I use this phrase, but tap it harder. Better than your 3-iron.
The quarter swing.
Exactly. Keep tapping it hard. Good. We're going to build this in stages. We're going to work on different components of your swing. Teach them one at a time, then we'll put all the pieces. Take a break off with that swing. We're going to go a little bigger before we finish today, but I want to put a lot more reps in there right now just with this. Okay?
Ooh, that's a good one.
A little harder, but I'll show you how to do that. Now, the reason you're having success with this is because you're only going about right there. So not a lot can go wrong in the shortest space. But the other thing that you're doing really well is you are keeping your left arm connected to your body. So that the body and the hands are kind of working as a unit. You had a little bit of this connection feeling on that pitch shot over there. When we got over here, you still, even with the 8-iron, you still had timed the 8-iron hit pretty well. But this left arm was starting to lift off the chest a little bit. That can cause some problems, particularly when you get into the bigger clubs, longer clubs. So I want you to take it back to here, where feel like your right arm is parallel to the ground. And so instead of stopping it only taking it here, I want you to feel like you're going at least shoulder high with your hands. So do a practice backswing and stop. So about right there. So that's a little further than what you were tapping with, isn't it? So we're just going to tap some balls with that backswing. So but you're going to feel the load of your hands, and you're just going to kind of, it's a slow, smooth backswing, but it's going to stay compact. And that short, it's bigger than what you were doing for the drill. It's still it's less than a full swing, but I need you to get to that point still connected with the left arm. We'll try a few here. Good. That's really good. That is really good. Keep that exact. Do that 100 times, I'll be there. With just a little bit of additional length, you get a lot more power. But you don't have to feel like you're a gorilla. Go ahead and get your grip. I want to get a close-up of your grip. Okay, now leave the right hand on the club and take your left hand off. Okay, now go ahead and re-grip. And hold the club up so I can see the underside of your grip. There you go. I'm first going to look at you in the impact position because it's the most important. Everything the ball does, how far it goes, how high it goes, how much it spins and curves, is a direct response to the laws of physics in motion at the brief moment of impact. On the left is Tiger hitting an iron. This is video I took at last year's US Open. On the right is Grant Wade hitting a driver. Grant was a PGA Tour player during the 90s and now is one of the top instructors of tour players. Grant's teaching partner is a good friend of mine, Joe Mayo, who lives in Las Vegas. Grant was considered by many as having one of the best and most fundamentally sound golf swings. At impact, they both have the majority of their weight on the left side. In fact, the average pro will have 85 to 90% of their weight on the left side at impact. I've drawn a red box from the center of their ankles to the top of their head And you can see that the red line off their left foot is passing right through their belt buckle, showing how the center of their mass is right on top of their left foot. They both have extended arms through impact. Their elbows are close together and not separating. Having extended arms and weight forward allows them to control the low point of their arc of their swing. When hitting the iron, this fundamental allows the placement of the low point to be in front of the ball, so that they hit the ball first and then the ground, producing the maximum compression of the golf ball. These fundamentals also allows for the highest level of consistency in controlling the face angle and club path during impact, so that you in turn have the highest level of consistency in hitting whatever optimal ball flight you want. Daryl, here I have you at impact, and I'm comparing you to Grant Wade. I flipped him around so he's left-handed. And there are some small differences where you are at impact, but I'm going to focus mostly on your backswing in this review. I do like the fact that you have the majority of your weight on your front foot. If I were to draw a box from the center of your ankles to the top of your head for both of you, you have more weight on your front foot than you do your back foot, just like Grant. Now, Grant has more weight. That red line coming off his front foot is going right through the center of his body, right through his belt buckle. And so he has about 85 or 90% of his weight on his front foot at impact, which is pretty average on tour. You certainly have the majority of your weight on your front foot, maybe not as much as 80 or 90%, but that's not the issue that I want to focus on early on in developing and improving your golf swing. We're going to work on something a little bit different, and I want to cover that now. Here you are at the beginning of the swing, the initial setup, and one of the things that you're going to see a little bit different in the setup, Grant has a little more weight on his front foot. If I were to draw a line straight up from his front foot and his back foot, you can see how he's preset a little bit more weight. In fact, I'll do a box on you. You're a little bit more centered, evenly balanced between both feet. Grant has a little bit more weight on his front foot. And the reason for that is, as I mentioned earlier, that the average pro will have 85 to 90% of their weight on their front foot at impact. And so they want to try to start with a little bit more weight on their front foot to begin with, so they don't have to work so hard to get the majority of their weight on the front foot at impact. They kind of have set up in a little mini impact position. Now, let's take the club back to, we're going to take it back to what is called the 3 position. This is when the right arm is parallel to the ground. So right now, Grant's right arm, because he's flipped around, is parallel to the ground. I'm going to take you to that same position right there. Grant does have a little bit more of an extension through that elbow. You are a little bit bent here, not a lot, but a little bit bent. And Grant has a much stronger angle between his forearm and the shaft, and you don't have as much of an angle. So Grant has hinged his wrist early on in the backswing. So that's one thing that we will address a little bit. But more importantly, I want to go a little bit further down to the top of the swing. Grant has almost completed his swing. He's kept that left arm straight. And then as you come up, you can see how much higher you get your elbow. You have a very strong bend here. You don't have an extension. You haven't kept that straight. You also have a bend in your other arm. And that is one of the things that is getting you in trouble, and I want to work on that first. You're hitting that 8-iron really well and fairly consistently, but I know for a fact that over time, this particular move you're making in your backswing will prevent you from reaching your best golf. That in order for me to build a really solid golf swing, I need to correct this part right now.
Now, the fact during the correction process, you will still hit a lot of good shots, but because it's a new movement, a little bit more unfamiliar to you, that discomfort, that uncomfortableness may cause you to miss some shots as well. But it is a stage that we've got to go through in order to make you the best player possible. You're shooting now upper 90s, you said, and my goal is to get you to be breaking 90 fairly quickly. And then long range potential is you're going to be shooting in the 70s. You've got too much athletic ability not to have that as your ultimate goal 2 or 3 years out. Here's a down the line view, and I've stopped it at the 3 position. I'm going to take it up to the top of the backswing. So there's Grant at the end of his backswing, and I'll draw an arrow from his wrist to his elbow. You can see that it's pointing right at his hip there. I'm going to take you up to the top of your backswing, and you can see how high that arm has gotten, and that is going to be an issue, and it can particularly, this is an 8-iron swing, and with the driver it can become much more difficult and problematic and causing some ball flight errors. And so learning how to swing more compact, getting that elbow down, almost feel like you're holding a towel with your armpit, that you clamp that armpit down, and as if you're holding a head cover underneath your armpit of that left arm, to feel that arm be more connected to the core of your swing. Everything else from the waist down looks just like Grant. You've extended this leg just like Grant has, and you have flexed this one just like Grant has. That's excellent. So there are some things that I like that you do, but I do want to work on how your arms get connected to your chest and core, and learn how to swing from there. So that'll be the thing that we will work on. We'll use drills and things to get you to feel that. That'll make you much more consistent, much more compact. Now I want to show you the comparison when you were doing that little half swing with the driver after having trouble, and you were struggling a little bit hitting the driver straight. Then we started doing those little tap drills, and it slowly built it up. And I want to show you the positions you got into when you're doing that half swing. First, let me put Grant in that 3 position where the arm is parallel to the ground. I'm now going to take you back to the 3 position. And your arm is much straighter when you do this drill with the driver than it was with that 8-iron. You had a little bit of a bend in that elbow. And this, you have more wrist hinge in this drill. So you look very similar to Grant in the 3 position. Now you weren't taking it to the top of the swing. You weren't doing a full swing. But this 1 to 3 is going to reinforce really good takeaway and maintaining a connection. Your arm right now, your left arm elbow is in close to the other elbow. They're very similar to what Grant has. So that drill is an excellent drill for you, and was the reason you hit that driver really straight and with a lot of pop, even though it wasn't a full swing. You could play golf with that driver, that little half swing right there. So that's very good.